Today I want to talk about a concept that everybody is, I'm sure, very familiar with, and one that you may not be so familiar with. In the world of weight loss, fitness, and the habit-changing business, people always talk about willpower. Willpower is a big deal. A lot of people assume that whether or not you are able to alter your habits in a positive way is dependent on the strength of your will. And I'm going to tell you that you could have the will of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, and it will be challenged at every turn. Your will is going to fail you. It's as simple as that. Because will is about forcing yourself to do something. It's about telling yourself, I should do this thing, and I'm going to do this thing, and being really, really unhappy if you fail. Willpower always fails. It may not fail completely, but it always fails. And you can see that with these groups here. We just had Super Bowl Sunday, right? So how many people were totally 100% honest about what they ate and what they drank on Super Bowl Sunday? I didn't go to a Super Bowl party this year. Didn't organize one, so it was no big deal for me. But I know that if I'd been around a bunch of my friends, and everybody's drinking beer and eating pizza and wings and all that kind of stuff, well, I'm probably going to do that too. And I could try and will myself not to, and that's probably going to fail. So what does work? Well, what does work is a thing called Whypower. And I'll explain that as a concept. And I'm going to use a story that actually belongs to a guy named Darren Hardy. Darren Hardy is a public speaker. He's a motivational guy. He's a writer, and he's pretty brilliant. Look him up if you're not familiar with him. And he frames it this way. Let's say I have a board, a plank, that is 1 foot wide, and it's 25 feet long. And I lay that plank on the ground in my driveway. And I pin a $20 bill to one end of it. And I tell you that if you can walk from one end of this plank to the other without stepping off, you can have $20. Well, how many people are going to do that? All of them. Nobody's not going to do it. It's too easy, right? What if I take this same plank and I suspend it between two buildings 20 stories up? They're 20 feet apart. I've got a 25-foot long board. I suspend this between these two buildings 50 stories up, or 20 stories up. Let's be, it really doesn't matter at 20, 50, you're going to die if you fall off, right? And I pin that $20 bill at one end, and you're standing at the other end, and I say, if you walk across this plank, you can have that $20. How many people are going to do it? None. I mean, like, wait, one crazy person that you maybe know. One person maybe is going to do it. But really, I'm not going to do it, and I don't think anybody I know would actually do it. Why? Because $20 isn't worth risking your life over. Right? Now I'm going to change the scenario. Instead of a $20 bill at the end of the plank, imagine that your child or your spouse or your mother or someone who you love more than anyone else in the world is at the other end of that plank. And the building at their end of the plank is on fire. And the only way to save them is for you to walk across that plank and bring them back. How many people do it then? If that's my daughter, I don't think. I'm doing it. I'm going across. I'm doing whatever I can to get to the other side of that plank and save her. Why? Because it's important enough. Because in that instance, my life isn't even on the table. I'm not considering it. In each one of those scenarios, there's a why you're going to do it. In the first scenario, why are you going to walk across the plank laying on my driveway with $20 bills on it? Because there's $20 there and it's easy. Why wouldn't you want to be $20 richer? In the second scenario, why aren't you going to do it? Because $20 isn't worth risking your life. $100 isn't worth risking your life. $1,000 probably isn't worth risking your life. Maybe even $1 million isn't worth risking your life. But I put somebody that you love more than anything in the world at the other end of that plank, and I set that other building on fire, and I bet 100% of you would do it. You'd find a way. So how does this apply? My phone is reminding me of stuff for some reason all of a sudden. So how does this apply to health and fitness? So think about those choices that you make every day related to what you eat, related to how much activity you do. And see if you've got a strong enough why to make you walk that plank. I mean, deciding not to have nachos, deciding not to have pizza, choosing to have whole organic food or whole food instead of junk food. If it's about willpower, your willpower is going to be tested, and sometimes it's going to help you and sometimes it's going to fail you. If it's about why power, and your why is strong enough, you will succeed most of the time. You will succeed almost all the time if your why is strong enough. And that is why you need to get in touch with that why. That's all I got today. It's a rather long video. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.